le monde du MMORPG sur PC, un petit nouveau va bientôt faire son apparition. Il s'agit d'un jeu en préparation depuis de nombreuses années et développé par Carbine, un studio de développement fondé par des anciens de Blizzard. Ce jeu se nomme WildStar et va sortir début juin dans le monde entier. Il y a deux factions principales dans le monde de WildStar, le Dominion, l'Empire Galactique, et les Exilés, qui sont les rebelles. Tous deux vont se retrouver sur Nexus, une planète légendaire, et vous allez devoir choisir votre camp pour la conquête de ce monde.
The story behind WildStar is there's a lost planet that nobody has discovered for, or they kind of knew about it, but it was sort of this fabled sort of planet. And it's ruled by these people that were extremely intelligent, capable, and advanced. Usually anybody that would get near the planet would just get evaporated, just gone, right? But there's an explorer that finds the planet and doesn't get shot down. So he lands and finds out that the people that were on that planet, the Elden, are gone. And so now the players kind of have a reason to go to this planet, and there's loads of really interesting and unique technology that only exists on this planet. So it's everybody is rushing to get there. Some of the factions, the exiles, for example, have had their planets either destroyed or taken over by the Dominion, which is another faction. The Dominion are sort of half related to the Elden. They were chosen by the Elden to sort of take over the galaxy, and so they think it's their birthright to take the planet. Well, the exiles just want a planet to live where they're not going to be hunted by the Dominion. So both of the factions land on the planet, and they're both trying to take it over, and the player gets to decide which one they want to join. WildStar is a action combat MMO. It's probably one of the more feature-complete MMOs that have been released in the past couple of years. And what I mean by that is there's just so much stuff to do that it should keep you occupied for a good amount of time. So we have things like player housing, we have dungeons, we have player versus player combat, we have war plots, which is building your own death fortress and fighting against another death fortress with 40 versus 40 combat. And our combat is very unique and interesting because you can actually aim where you want your spells to go. And we have this system called the telegraph system where when I launch an attack, you see a little reticle on the ground in front of you, and anything in there gets damaged. So if I'm a smart player, what I can do is I can take 3 enemies and I can line my attack up and hit 3 of them with 1 attack. And enemies also have these as well, so our PvP combat is a ton of fun. Our NPCs that are enemies in the game also have these, so they'll put stuff on the ground, and at first it starts out and it's pretty easy to avoid. It sort of is a tutorial into it, and then eventually it becomes really crazy and difficult, and when you get into dungeons and raids, it's super hardcore.
Certains MMO ont tenté de s'éloigner du modèle classique du trio tank soigneur dégâts, mais ce n'est pas le cas de WildStar. Le jeu compte quand même apporter sa touche au genre.
Because WildStar's combat system is so skill-based, it really changes up things for, I think healers probably are the most unique in WildStar, because it's not like you can just sit in the corner of the room and heal bars up in the left-hand corner and just, sit and heal bars all day. You really have to move around because telegraphs are everywhere in our dungeons. And so you really have to pay attention, like, oh, I gotta move out of the way because they're trying to shoot me all the time. And you have to move your friends, or heal your friends that also have to avoid all these telegraphs and move out of the way. And also line up other people that may be doing that as well. So I think it's a lot more skill-based in our Holy Trinity than other MMOs are.
Parmi les classes disponibles, chacune peut faire des dégâts et aussi soit soigner, soit tanker. Le détail de la construction de son personnage est entièrement laissé aux joueurs.
What we do in WildStar with our abilities is allow you to make your own build. So if I wanted to create a tank version of a warrior, I can pick which abilities I want to do that. And we're trying to make it so that there's not an optimal set. Because it's so skill-based, it could be built off of what you like. What is your methodology for tanking? Do you want to be a tank that uses nothing but CC and interrupts constantly and you don't have to depend on as many people to do it? You could do that. If you want to just build threat and that is your deal and that's all you're going to do, that's one way to do it. We can have a mix of threat and DPS so that you are constantly getting threat from your threat generating abilities, but you're also damaging the boss too. It's all about customization and figuring that out for what is effective for you. So
Des détails viennent renforcer l'expérience, comme la vocation choisie au début du jeu. C'est une sorte de classe supplémentaire avec ses propres quêtes qui permet d'avoir accès à des compétences bonus. WildStar proposera aussi des maisons individuelles pour les joueurs, à décorer soi-même, ainsi qu'un support très complet pour les modes utilisateurs dès son lancement.
So one of the most challenging things when you make an MMO currently is if you think about WoW or EverQuest or any MMO that's been out for years, they've had 10 plus years, or longer depending on which MMO, to make something better, right? So we've had to add in a lot of the features that other MMOs have just kind of put in over time. We had to have it at launch. And I think that's a big factor in why we took as long as we did to make the game as full-featured as it is.
Le modèle économique du jeu sera l'abonnement, mais il sera aussi possible de gagner de l'argent dans le jeu, permettant de régler son abonnement, un peu comme dans EVE Online. WildStar sera disponible le 3 juin sur Windows.
Nobody touch anything.